Here's your drop in the bucket. Hey, you had one of these in a minute. Okay, so all these trucks have flat tires. You got to call somebody for road service. A lot of times, these big name outfits, they'll only use TA or Love's or one of these others. You call those people and you'll wait 4 hours on the side of the road. Well, a guy just passed me in a very squared away truck and it said Tire Tech on the side. Okay, so I don't know what they charge or whatever, and I've paid as little as $300 to replace a tire, or no, it was an airbag. And one time I had the spare, I just needed somebody to put it on. Guy came out, and I think that was $325 just to come out, take a tire off, take it off the rim, put my tire on the rim, put it back on there. That's it. And this dude was an independent and everything. I've had Love's come out and put a tire on, and it wound up being $700. I had an airbag 2 weeks ago. It was $1,100 to replace because it was Friday evening. So it was after hours and the road service, blah, blah, blah. Extra money, right? So they charge you during this peak thing. So if somebody started a franchise, okay, we call that highway robbery, and all these independent drivers out here, we all need road service. And nobody gets a fair shake on a consistent basis. Nobody. So if someone would standardize that and franchise that and full marketing and ad campaign, just decide in the bathroom while you're standing there taking a leak and it says, Tire Tech guaranteed, breakdown specialist or whatever. Let this dude be able to do, it's either just tire replacement and then small roadside whatever, mechanics. But it'd be verified that this dude is not going to rip you off. And if we had that available, like a national network, where you can franchise this to people, and their benefit is for 10% of the call, a standard pricing that's the same every day of the week, like a normal business. You know what I mean? You're paying a certain amount for coming out on nights and weekends. Sure. What's that extra? Because $600 just because it's Friday evening is ridiculous. That's theft. Okay, so what's it going to cost for somebody to do this? What makes it make sense for the individual to sign up? So kind of like Uber.
There are police reported ahead.
Mechanic, and then the cool part is that the situation is sorry, there's couples on the road. Every now and then you'll get a good guy, right? And then a lot of the guys that are good, they don't know the marketing side and stuff like that. So if we had an Uber for tires, and then to sign up to be a part of the Uber, instead of calling a cab, call a road service guy, a certain criteria that is met with a standard pricing. Now, anybody in the world can click their tire Uber guy to come fix their thing. And now the company, man, that doesn't want you call him at 3 o'clock in the morning, they can sign up for the service. And if they don't speak into English, it doesn't matter because they can just sign up for it. And they can do that 9 to 5 with their back office people. I just have an automatic requirement, like, you click on the app, this is load number, truck, trailer, problem, picture of the problem, send. Whatever Uber guy gets that message, shows up, they're there. They take a picture of the problem. They fix it to whatever degree. Take a picture of the fix. Upload that with whatever, VIN numbers and all this kind of stuff like that. They do the mechanic side of it. And then they say, okay, driver, thank you. And they leave. And then I leave. Okay, so now all I did was I had a flat. I pushed a button. I said I need help. Okay? The back office at the company, all they did was signed up to get help. And they got an account with, X amount. If it's over $1,000, call me or whatever, however that works out. Whatever the company's okay with. But I had a guy one time, I was driving his truck, Victor, and he said, if you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning because you had a flat tire and wake me up, dude, you're fired, man. Just get it fixed, get the receipt. We'll figure it out, during business hours. And that's appropriate, okay? And what he did was he had a smart business card with Capital One, and he gave each driver a company card with $1,000 limit. So I'd go get something fixed, swipe the card or whatever, and he held back a week, and then my check's more than $1,000. So if I go to the casino, start swiping his card like some kind of psycho, it didn't matter. He would just take it out of my check if it was inappropriate, So that's the way he did it. But what I'm talking about is a little different than that, where the company can sign up and either put on deposit as like a prepaid thing, where there's no need for a percentage because it's a loan, blah blah whatever, or do it like a credit system and then make sure that this affiliation reports to the credit bureau for businesses. So this will help every business obtain further funding through the bank, because you got to have 3 people that report to the business credit bureau. So now everybody in the world driving a truck is going to think, well, if I have this road service, this is one line of credit. Okay, and that can be prepaid or whatever, just as long as it reports. Because you got like Dun & Bradstreet, and then you got the other one for businesses, right? And just because you've got credit line with the business, you don't know if that business is reporting to the business credit bureau. So if you say that up front, like here, we're FixYourTruck.com, the road service guy, the road service guy. I mean, there's your name right there, right? And then all this thing to market it to the driver. We got standard pricing. We got affiliates in every place, and then because of the marketing and stuff, that's how we'll draw in the affiliates to come out and do this stuff. Like, are you able to change a tire? Sign up with our app, and you got the option, just like with Uber, to go out here and fix this tire. See what I'm saying? And then who's actually on duty? Instead of calling 12 people in the night, waking up some poor record driver, and he says, oh yeah, that's my location, but I'm actually at my house 57 miles away, or whatever. It's just dumb. And we can fix it all with who's the closest guy that's actually on duty right now, that's signed into the app, that's right next to me. And then he's the same price as this guy that's going to take 3 hours. So we just solved that problem. Now the company man's paying for this remotely, and that's been set up before. And this is helping him build his business because they report to the credit bureau. And then whoever does this is hands off. This is hands off. You want to talk about passive income? I mean, this is right up there with building the cooling for the local guy that processes deer so he can process sheep, cows, and animals. You know what I mean? Like, all the ranchers are already there. They're already doing the work. There's already road service guys out there. So, your road service guy, and you're reporting to the business bureau. Now, he's setting himself up to be more fundable and more legit when he goes to try to get equipment or financing or business credit lines, whatever. This is somebody that reports to the Business Credit Bureau. So that's great for the tire guy, great for the owner, the carrier, the equipment owner, and then it's really good for the driver, regardless of who they are. I could just be numbnuts out here just driving. I could be, the boss at the TV store, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm better off because I had a flat, push the button, and within 20, 30 minutes, somebody comes out and fixes my tire. I don't have any monetary interaction with this guy because that's already set up. And then I'm getting off the side of the highway quicker so that I'm making it to my customer. I'm not causing a scene in traffic. Because there's been many trucks sitting on the shoulder and somebody's on their phone or sleepy, come along and hit them and die. So this would actually, preservation of life, it ain't nothing to sneeze at. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. Clear up a traffic jam like everybody wants traffic to flow. You see what I mean? Like it's a win all the way around. And it's right there. Technology's right there. There's reason and benefit for everybody involved to do these things. And then a standardized price to fix a stupid tire. Instead of anywhere from $300 to $1,200. I mean, just have a little section in there where I can put, the position of the tire, the size of the tire. Like I can look right on the sidewall. This is a 22.5, 285, 75, 22.5 trailer tire or drive tire or steer tire. You know what I mean? And then like all the company preferences for all that, the company can do that when they set up. You see what I'm saying? So you want to have you want your website and everything. You want your portal for the equipment owner. You want your portal for the service guy. And then you want to, be able to pull credit and all this kind of stuff like that. So whatever that looks like. And then, and then to set that up. I think somebody with some decent amount of intelligence could probably do this, get it set up, and then go on podcasts with like Bonehead Trucker and the Asian Buy guy. Probably just those two. If you just paid them whatever they charge to do an interview, you would reach over half. You know what I mean? And then just like have a few affiliates like me that you just send them out something that you can put the clear packaging tape on the trailer or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I can tape it to the orange barrel at the pilot truck stall. It's like My Tire Guy. Have you heard of My Tire Guy? Build your business with My Tire Guy. You see what I'm saying? So like you can blanket the country and get the attention of the drivers and the carriers and the tire guys. They just like dominate the market, and then as this builds up, eventually branch out into service plaza. You know what I mean? That's the quick and simple. But in the background, you got the option for the service plaza, and the service plaza could be a fuel island that's affiliated with all the major fuel guys, right? You already got these stuff like a Mud Flap, and a lot of these companies are already affiliated, and they buy in bulk from various stuff, and you can do like a pilot franchise deal where it's just a fuel island, right? So now you got the guy there and he stopped, but it's also a hub and a base on property for your tire guy to re-up his tires. You see what I'm saying? Now you can buy in bulk. You can just slowly do this market takeover of maintenance on trucks, and we know that they're trying to get automated trucks. So if you got your service bay where the guy, the truck drives itself in there, now you got people on staff to drive the truck over there, put the fuel in it, do an umpteen point inspection, whatever, and then be able to go drop the trailer, park the truck to plug it in if it's electric, or do whatever. And you got your maintenance bay right there, and this other stuff. And you can do these in remote locations where the land is cheap, right? So if you're doing this, do your app, your Uber app thing for changing flats, get these other guys doing that stuff, and then roll the profit back into buying land. They just accumulate land in strategic points of freight and travel where it's cheap. You know what I mean? And generally flat. Yeah, because even in like Virginia, right? Like it's got all these hills and stuff, and then every now and then there'll be a flat spot, and there ain't near enough parking, right? So if you got a big parking lot, you got a fuel island, and you have a mechanic, and warehouse. You see what I'm saying? Just by having that ability, like you're putting it all together for your warehouse to distribute tires to your independents and all that kind of stuff, and then you get involved more and more later on, and the appeal in the beginning, and probably, you might want to leave the truck stop, and so there's a lot involved. It's like a whole different deal. But the Uber app, like if I was a tech guy, if I do tech guys to call right now, you know what I mean? I'm just like, hey, get on this right here. You know what I'm saying? Just like you can literally hire it out, compartmentalize, and just hire dudes to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like hire dudes to do this. Like everybody would do it. There's no reason not to. There is not a single driver out here that has not been ripped off by the tire guy. $1,500 to change out batteries, and a week later the batteries are bad again, and then the alternator and everything, and then the fifth road service guy trying to get home, the dude's like, well, these four are getting charged, and there's no jumper wire right here. The jumper wire's gone, so it's overcharging these batteries, and these other batteries ain't getting no charge at all. That's why it's blowing up, and that's why it ruined your alternator. So, $6,000 later, the dude I'm driving the truck for is run out of business due to, he just bought a truck. There was this problem, that problem, got it on the road, this problem, that problem, parked in the wrong place in Dallas. Somebody stole the steps off the side of the truck and all the batteries and the wiring harness. And then I know a guy shows up and puts these batteries in there and puts together a set of cables. And then 3 different tire guys, they have no concept of, is this set of batteries wired correctly? Because who has a diagram for every single set of batteries, right? You know what I mean? And finally the guy in Amarillo, he was a real mechanic, and when he looked at it, he's like, this has been worked on 3 times and nobody even cleaned the terminals, the connections. And so he takes the whole thing apart and he builds a proper wiring harness, and step by step, what he knows, because he's a real mechanic. He's not just a guy that fixes flats, and he gets it done. So, you would want your roadside mechanic that's a real mechanic guy with a upper tier rating and premium pricing. You got your Uber Share, you got your Uber Comfort, you got your Uber XL or Executive Uber, whatever. You know what I mean? So you'd want, like I've had a problem, it ain't fixed. I got another problem, I'm on the side of the road. Send the good guy. I'll pay the extra $300 for that guy because you're certified that he'll show up. Because, I don't know nobody in the area. What level of care do I need? I can push that button, and then, the company man can set all that up 9 to 5. And it's brilliant. It is brilliant. And you can hire somebody to do all of this stuff. Like you don't have to, you don't have to take your eyes off the prize and you're being paid or whatever like that. This is something that the right guy with means can hire this guy to do this guy to do that. Like you can just take the time to write a business plan, approach funding, and say this is what we're going to do, and then compartmentalize, build this thing to not give it away, and then that would work. That would work. 1%, by the way. My wife said I have to. God gives me for free. You know what I mean? I give away free, but my wife said I should charge something. So 1% of the net profit is my standard fee for the drops in the bucket. Skip Hippopotamus here saying, "Go get them." Read your Bible, rock out.